Everybody, welcome back to the show. Before we begin, this is another mini-sode, by the way, and another episode where we're going to talk about a dharma and some of the steps that we can take to start living into our soul's purpose. Before we begin, though, I want to invite you once again, if you are in the area or actually not in the area, I have decided to make the philosophy class. I'm teaching a philosophy class on Dharma at Balance Planet Yoga in Marlton, New Jersey on Monday nights from 6 to 7:30. I originally made it a in-person class, which it still is. If you're in the area, please come. I would love to see you in person. But I've been getting some requests from people who are outside the area or having trouble getting there in person to do a hybrid version. So if you have the Mind Body app, you can search Balance Planet Yoga, and it is on Monday night. It is called, oh, I should know the name of it, but I'm going to have to pull it up to tell you the exact name of it. But you can use the Mind Body app and you can schedule and you will get a Zoom link. And so then you can join us virtually over Zoom. So I hope that makes it easier for people to attend. It's called Yoga for Skillful Living at 6 o'clock on Monday nights. So if you're interested in attending that, I would love to see you either in person or over Zoom would be fantastic. I also invite you to book a discovery call with me on my website, momontheverge.org, so we can have a conversation. I spent many, many years of my life feeling the pain of not living my purpose, feeling like there was something missing, feeling like I was checking all the boxes in my life, but just feeling so unfulfilled, and like my life didn't really represent the deepest version of who I was. And it took me a long time to figure out where I was meant to be and what I was meant to be doing in all areas of my life. And it is my deepest desire to help people to learn their dharma and to feel better about their lives, better in their everyday lives, more peaceful, more joyful, more in flow, more creative. To get rid of that nagging voice that's just saying, there has to be more, there has to be more. Is this all there is? Why don't I feel fulfilled even though I have all the trappings of a beautiful life? Why do I still feel unfulfilled? It's a really painful place to be. And I really, really believe that our dharma is meant to serve us, but it's also meant to serve the world. So I am on a mission to help you serve yourself, your family, and the world at large. And that doesn't mean you have to do anything like cure cancer or send, somebody to another planet. It really can just mean how you show up in your relationships with the people who are right in your world right now. How do you show up, and how would you like to show up? And by changing the way that you show up in your partnership or as a parent or as a coworker has a ripple effect into this world that we truly cannot fully understand. We can only partially imagine. Our brains are not really capable of thinking on that large of a scale. But I can tell you that, it takes one person in one interaction to change someone's life. And I believe that we change ourselves first, and then we change those around us and the world by living the life that we were divinely created to live. We all came here with a purpose. It was all instilled in us prior to us entering this plane, this earthly plane. And when we live into it, we feel so much better, but we also impact the world in really beautiful ways. So I really invite you to visit momontheverge.org, book a free discovery call. We can talk about my one-on-one coaching program. It is a 12-week container where we meet once a week and we talk about how we can get you to a place in your life that you feel that is in alignment with who you are, where we can remove that nagging voice that's saying there has to be more, or decrease your anxiety because you feel that you're living the life that you're really meant to be living. We can remove those limiting beliefs that are blocking you. I can't tell you how much it has changed every aspect of my personal life to be living in my dharma. And it took me a little over 40 years to get there. I'm so grateful it didn't take longer, but I want it to be so much shorter for you. And I want you to live with ease and have the inner peace that comes with being your most authentic self. So I hope you either book a call or show up in person or online to that philosophy class. But in the meantime, here is another mini-sode on walking you home to your dharma. We're going to do a little meditation. We're going to get into our bodies, and it's going to be a good time. So have fun with it. All right, everyone, welcome back to this mini-sode. So I started teaching my philosophy class that I've mentioned on previous episodes at a local yoga studio this week, and we discussed what it feels like in your body when you are living in your dharma or when you're living in your soul's purpose. So I thought I would have that discussion with you guys as well, because it's really telling. It's extremely, your body is infinitely wise. It's so much wiser than your mind. And you can be thinking yourself in circles, right? Like you're just chasing your tail. You're having these same circular thoughts that really never get you to where the destination that you really want to arrive at. And so our bodies are truth tellers. They can't lie to us like our minds. Our minds can lie to us and do lie to us all the time, tell us things that are untrue all the time. But our bodies don't lie. They just, like a toddler, I say our bodies are like our toddler self. They tell the truth all the time, whether we like it or we don't like it. They are going to shine a mirror on the reality of our situation and the subconscious beliefs that are going on underneath that we may not have access to in the moment. And while we may not always be able to immediately access that subconscious belief, we can tap into our body and it will guide us in the right direction. And so we did an exercise this week where I asked the participants to just kind of take a moment. We settled in. I will do it with you. We can do it together, but to settle in and to come into their bodies. And then to imagine, bring to mind, visualize a situation in their life where they were doing something really pleasurable and enjoyable. And to do that with as much clarity as possible, with as much detail as possible about that situation and what they were seeing and hearing and tasting and feeling and who was there and exactly where were they, inside, outside, what was the weather like, just really, really drawing on the five senses to help bring our minds back to that particular situation. And then once they were able to get themselves to feel as though they were really back there in that situation, to go to the body. What was their body feeling like in that moment? Because that is an indicator when we are doing something or doing things that we really enjoy and that make us feel relaxed and peaceful and connected, excited, happy, joyful, our body responds and it lets us know that we're on the right track by the way that we feel inside. And that is a really great indicator, like memorizing that feeling, what it feels like to be in that space. You can use that to help guide you on your way toward discovering your dharma or your soul purpose. Because when we're in our soul's purpose, when we're doing the thing that we were divinely designed to do, that's how we feel inside of our bodies. And it doesn't always mean that what we're doing is easy or fun. It actually can be quite difficult, but if it's the thing that we really were, designed to do, we will still feel in flow. We will feel locked in. We will feel deeply present in the moment. We will feel creative and expansive, even in the hard. So I'll give you a personal example from my own life that happened recently. As you all know, I'm a nurse and I'm a labor and delivery nurse. And that's not always easy. There's a lot of challenging things that come along with being any kind of nurse. In labor and delivery, we are, dealing with people who are often in a tremendous amount of pain and having a difficulty coping with that pain. There's also a lot of really difficult social situations and, many, many challenging, sad things that happen in the labor and delivery world that are actually often not spoken about that much. People think, oh, it's all wonderful. It's beautiful. You're having a baby and isn't that exciting? Wonderful. But that's not always the case. In fact, it's not the case a lot of the time. So there are a lot of hard circumstances that, those of us who are caring for in any way, or part of the healthcare team of these patients have to deal with. And so in this particular situation, I had a patient come in. She was in a tremendous amount of pain. Her labor was really progressing quickly. She did not want an epidural. She had her own reasons for not wanting that. But the labor was much more intense. The experience of labor, which was much more intense than I think she had anticipated it to be. And so she was really struggling not only with the pain, but also with the kind of shock and disbelief of what this experience was and the fear that it was bringing with the experience. She was very fearful of the experience because it was so much more intense than what she had imagined it to be in her mind. And so it was escalating everything. It was causing the pain to be worse. It was really preventing her body from relaxing into the process and allowing her cervix to open up so that she could dilate to have this baby. And she was pretty out of control. She was flailing all over the place. She was screaming. She was grabbing at things and people. And it was pretty chaotic. Her family members were trying to help. She actually had really wonderful support and they were trying to help, but she was in very intense fight or flight in that moment. And if you've listened actually to my last week's episode on the nervous system, we talk a little bit about fight or flight in that episode, but that's when your sympathetic nervous system is in overdrive and you truly believe that you are in danger. Your kind of lizard brain thinks that you are in danger for your life. And so you lose the ability really to think clearly and to see things rationally and from a broader perspective. You're really just trying to get away from the danger. Now, in this case, you can't get away from your own body, right? The danger in her mind was happening inside of her own body. So there's really no way to run away from that. But she was really doing everything in her power to try to run away from that, even though it was not rational. But when you're in fight or flight, you are not rational, right? That frontal lobe, that part of your brain that resides kind of in the forehead area, it goes offline. It really doesn't, you don't have access to it. And so I was able to hold space for her in that particular moment and get her to breathe with me. We did some somatic poses to help calm her nervous system. We did some gentle touch. And again, this was not easy. This was a situation where she was really out of control, and I was trying to work with someone who was difficult to work with because of she was going through in that moment. But for me, inside my body, even though externally you would walk into the situation with someone screaming, flailing, bodily fluids flying, which also is a part of nursing, falling to her knees, all these types of things, you would walk in and be like, whoa, this room is chaos. But to me, because I was in my dharma in that moment, assisting her, I felt locked in, deeply locked into that present moment with her. And I felt in flow, and I felt calm and peaceful internally, even though the situation was not peaceful. And I felt creative because I was having to figure out how to reach her while she was in this state. And my creative juices were going, and I was coming up with different ideas of how to bring her slightly down, right, out of this fight or flight, bring her down so that she could engage in some of the exercises that I was doing with her to try to help her to relax and to cope with the pain. And inside my body, I actually felt really, really expansive, really like the edges of my body have disappeared. I felt slightly floaty, and I felt incredibly present and grounded, even though the situation was chaotic. So there is an example of when we're in our dharma, when we're living our soul's purpose, when we're doing the thing that we were divinely designed to do. It doesn't always mean that the situation is going to be easy, but it means that because we're doing what we were put here to do, we feel at ease. We feel in flow. We feel we are where we were meant to be, and our body responds by giving us these signals of feeling calm inside, feeling like you're in flow, feeling creative and expansive. So that's what I'd like for us to work on today, is to just practice what it feels like to be in your dharma, what it feels like inside your body. And the reason why I suggest doing this is because then you can recognize it when it shows up. So sometimes we're in a situation and maybe we don't love it. Like maybe you have a job that you're like, I really just do not like my job. I want to get out of this job. It's just not for me. But there may be parts of that job that really do speak to your dharma. But as a normal human who has negativity bias, like we all do, we tend to focus on the negative aspects of the job and only see those and forget to become aware, to have some awareness that there may be points in your day, even if they're short or small, where you feel this sense of ease and flow and what's the word I'm looking for? Like completeness, wholeness inside of you, because it speaks to your dharma. So I want you to memorize the feeling. That's what we're going for. Memorize what it feels like inside your body when your body is screaming, yes, 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 go in this direction. Yes, this is it. Okay. And then once you memorize that feeling, become aware of every time it shows up for you. And even write it down. If you're on this path and you're trying to figure out your soul's purpose, write it down. What were you doing? And why do you think? What about what you were doing do you think your body was responding to and telling you, yes, 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 this is it? And keep doing that over and over and over again until you start to see the patterns and the trends that start to show up. It doesn't have to only be at work, at home, in hobbies, in interactions with friends and family. Where is your body giving you a hell yes? And why is it giving that to you? What about that activity or interaction is giving you the hell yes? And follow it. Okay. So let's do this together. If you are wherever you are, you can find a seat, or you can even lay down if that's more comfortable for you. Obviously, as if you're driving, please don't do this right now. You can pause and come back to it later. But we're going to do a brief meditation to help our bodies to help our bodies understand, or help our minds understand what our bodies do when we're in those circumstances, those hell yes circumstances. So, taking a nice seat and closing your eyes if that feels comfortable for you. We're going to take a couple deep breaths in through the nose Out through the mouth, in through the nose again, out through the mouth. One last time, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Now just returning your breath to normal, allowing your body to breathe itself. So no forcing, no trying, no reaching or grasping for anything. Just allowing your body to do what it already knows how to do. Just placing trust in your body. And now I want you to take a moment to call to mind a situation where you felt really joyful, really expansive, really at peace, centered, calm. And what were you doing? Really paint the picture for yourself. So see yourself in that situation. Where are you? Are you inside? Are you outside? Are you alone or with other people? Is it light or dark? What can you hear around you? You hear sounds of nature? Are you outside? Do you hear sounds of family members in your home? What do you hear? What can you see? Mentally scan the environment. What is around you while you're engaging in this activity? What can you touch? What can you see? Are there any smells? Are there thoughts that you can recall that were running through your mind at the time? Is there anything that you could taste? Paint the picture of this experience as vividly as possible. And then go to your body. What does your body feel like in this moment? In the moment that you're visualizing in your mind, how does your body feel? How does your mind feel? Maybe your body feels light, maybe a little tingly or floaty. Maybe it almost feels like the edges of your body have disappeared. Maybe you feel a bursting in your chest. How about your mind? Maybe the thoughts are coming a little more slowly. Maybe you're able to see things with a wider lens. What's your energy like? Do you feel energetic? Do you feel tired? Just scan your body and your mind for what it really feels like in that moment. And then when you're ready, we'll just come back to our breath, feeling the rise and fall of our chest and our belly as we inhale and exhale, releasing that visualization, starting to pay attention to the sounds around us right now, in this time, in this space. Feeling the sensations of our body in the chair or bed or wherever we've chosen to sit or lay. Maybe starting to move a little bit, wiggling fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. And then when you're ready, just gently, ever so gently opening the eyes and taking a moment to take in the room or space around you. That's the feeling, my friends. You want to memorize that feeling and then become aware of every single place in your life where you feel that feeling. And then start turning towards everything that gives you that feeling. That is your roadmap. It is your guide because your body does not lie. So I invite you to start keeping a little notebook or maybe a little on your phone, the notes section of your phone, however it is easiest for you, to start writing down when you're feeling that sensation in your body and what you were doing and what part of what you were doing do you think your body was saying yes to. All right, I hope you enjoyed this episode. As always, I would really appreciate you liking, sharing, following to grow the episode, to grow the podcast. If you want to take a deeper dive into all of this dharma stuff, all this soul purpose, then book a discovery call on my website at momandtheverge.org. It's really easy. It's 20 minutes. It's free. It's just an opportunity to get more information. There's no commitment needed. It's just for us to have that first conversation to see where we can go from there. Because truly, the only way to true inner peace is to live a life that we were designed to live, divinely designed by God before we even came onto this earthly plane to live. And I can tell you from personal experience, when I was living outside of my dharma, it was incredibly painful. And it was often like a whisper that was kind of like a gnat. It was like this annoying bug flying around my head that I just knew something was off. Something was off. And I couldn't really put my finger on it. All I knew was that I didn't feel quite right. I didn't feel internally peaceful. I didn't feel as though I was truly myself. I didn't feel as if I was making the impact on this world that I wanted to leave, I knew I had something more to give. That was a big piece for me. I knew I had something more to give to this world, and I just couldn't figure out what it was. And it took me probably 20 to 25 years to figure that out. And I don't want you taking 20 to 25 years to figure it out. Because all of those years, I could have been feeling so much better internally and so much more peaceful and so much more connected to myself and to the divine and to others. I could have been having a real impact on this world in a positive way. And I want you to be able to feel all those feelings and have the impact that you want to have and not take 25 years to get there. So please book a discovery call and let's just talk. That's all we got to do. Everything, all change begins with awareness and a conversation. All right, friends, I love you so much, and I will see you next time. Hi, everyone. If you enjoyed this episode or any of our other episodes, I ask that you please like the show, follow, subscribe, or share. The way that podcasts work is the more people that do one of those things, the more likely it is that when someone's looking for a podcast to listen to, our show will pop up for them. I started this podcast because I really see there's a great need in our world for people to feel more peace, joy, love, and acceptance in their lives. And I think we can do that when we have a greater sense of self-awareness. We could become conscious creators of our own lives. And I'm seeking to do that for as many people as possible. So if you could help me by liking, sharing, or subscribing to the show, I'd really appreciate it. And hopefully someone hears a conversation that changes their life. Thank you again, and I'll see you next time. Much love.